So, good morning or good night, depending on where you are in the world, and welcome to another interview of the Shield Dude on a Couch. I'm your host, Hector, and tonight we're joined by the bass player, Scarlett, and he plays in the band Black Absinthe. And they released a new single in September 28th, which is a great day because that's my birthday. And the last single's called On Earth or in Hell. So, Kyle, welcome to the channel. How are you tonight?
Pleasure to be here. Yeah, great to join up with you. Of dude chilling on a couch, dude chilling on a couch. Yeah, glad to join in and yeah, chat about heavy metal. The song of, as you said, On Earth or in Hell, of the recent release of yeah, and on that the great coincidence of that day for your birthday. So hope you're
Yes,
rocking it then.
yes, yes. So yeah, I listened to the song and I've listened to your previous material. So you're a band from Ontario, Canada, and you've been around now. You
Yep.
started back in like more than like 13 years ago in 2011. So for people that do not know the band, tell us a little bit about the history of the band.
Okay. Yes, we say around 12 years ago. It's probably 12, 13 years by this point,
Yeah.
which is crazy for me thinking about it. Black Absinthe was formed out of initially me and Jack Siri, the guitar player of a vocalist as well. We had met each other at York University. That's a university in like northern Toronto. We had met there. Of when I moved downtown, he had gone to OCAD. That was like the art school downtown. Of at that time, I'd wanted to start doing music. He was already in another band. He left that band, parted ways. Of we were living together at the time, and then at that moment we had started it. There was a third friend of ours, our buddy Austin, who was our drummer for a good many years. Yeah, where we started that, and like literally, for me, I had been playing bass maybe 3 months before. The two of them had been playing, since they were young, 7, 8 years old. Of we're like a much like higher skill level. But then like we were in our early 20s, those years of banging out of like the local scene of building things up. Like our initial recordings were in the basement of the place that we live, or the place that we lived at the time. Of we're using our friends like iMac to record things of very like low level end of it. But like with each recording each year, things improved, right? Like it was always you don't do something for 13 years and not get at least a little bit better at it. About the quality of it improved with each release. Our last one that had come out was Early Signs of Denial. That was our last one with Austin as our drummer, and that was probably about 6, 7 years ago by this point. But going forward of like the future now, we've got a new drummer, of like new member in every equal part in every sense of the word, Fernando Villalobos. So through the creation of like these songs on this album, the recording process of just creatively in every aspect of he's joined the band, and that sort of encouraged a new heavier sound and a heavier era that we're going into.
Yeah, because I listened to your previous material and it had like a new wave of British heavy metal,
Yep.
and also like a very different vibe from the new track. So
I think we've been picking up on there with the older stuff, because Jack and I, we love Van Halen. We both love Judas Priest. I have a particular love of hair metal, like things like Wasp, things of that nature. So
yeah,
those early years,
Motley Crue.
Motley Crue, of all that. Hey, as I said, of the first few songs I was learning on bass before starting the band, of Looks That Kill, was definitely on that list. But Austin, drumming wise, like he was very into like pop punk of Travis Barker, Blink 182, but he also had a love of like Cradle of Filth and like these blast beats. So like that was the older years. That was probably the like mix of that drumming wise of or you say that new wave of British heavy metal vibe.
Mhm.
Has sort of shifted into a heavier, getting away from that, of getting into that heavier territory now.
Yeah, so it's almost you would say it's like a new era, new it's like a new band almost. Uh
Absolutely. I mean, going forward with it, of like there were maybe one or two songs that we had been working on beforehand, but yeah, like the new direction, the new energy of, as I said, of like Fern isn't someone that was simply, replacing a piece of the band beforehand, of like him coming in, of like change the dynamic completely, right? Where you say of like, is this a new band? If, well, we have our history, we have our legacy, we still have our, uh, our own fans, our own things that, there are elements that are still there.
no, of
I
course.
a complete rewipe, but no, of like we were very open to of here's this new musician we're working with, of like here are these new ideas, here's this new stuff. So uh completely new band, no, but a new dynamic for sure.
A new dynamic. But
Mm.
if you think about it, in the 90s, Pantera started out as a glam metal band, and then they changed to that group metal when they changed singer.
Can I,
But
can
the
I,
the
can I speak about the album Power Metal that you're referring to?
oh yeah,
Right. The Pantera hair metal album.
yes,
It is my favorite Pantera album. It is my one I listen to the most. Um, I think it's the best version of what hair metal can be, of just ripping solos on it. I mean, even the hair metal ballad take that they have on it.
I've never listened to that album.
It's over and out power metal on its own, of as a song of "We'll Meet Again" as the ballad end. It's the best version of like what the stereotypes of these songs can be. So we take a lot from that, though. Like when we say of my love of hair metal, of like Jack's love of, he had a huge love of Dime and Pantera and all that as well. So uh we do keep that kind of stuff in mind. But sort of go off on a tangent about Pantera's uh power metal, but it is a personal favorite.
Yeah, and I've never listened to that record. So I have no idea what it sounds like because the
Not on
Pantera I know is from Cemetery Gates and up,
it's not on
Cowboys from
Spotify.
Hell.
It's not on Spotify. Of you can only watch it on YouTube.
Oh yeah, I have to listen to it because I've never listened to that Pantera record. I know, but I've always listened to the Pantera that I know through Cowboys from Hell and stuff like that. So the new single that is already out on Earth or in Hell. So
Yes.
I listened to it. So let's talk a little bit about that single. So
Mhm.
what's the story of that song and the themes that you cover on that song?
So the way that we approach a lot of songs of uh is that we'll come up with the majority of the composition, and then the lyrics will kind of come afterwards. Like it's very rare that we'll have lyrics fully written and then compose a song around that. A lot of times we'll have an idea first and then write a song in tandem. On Earth or in Hell, as I recall, was one that musically most of the parts were already there. And then we were looking for uh, lyrics to fill it out. At that time, it was sort of like around the news a lot of bodies being uncovered from residential schools in Canada, um, a lot of sort of the injustices of the residential school system kind of coming to light. Uh, where I'd been sort of tangentially aware of it, of growing up in Canada, being a Canadian citizen, but really delving into a lot of that horrible history of uh, it did like upset you, like it is, you're angry by it. So yeah, basically like the lyrics of the lyrics, the way we were talking about in that song, of it is basically a condemnation of church and country, of say of like, this happened in our country, of like we have a fucking right to be mad about it, of like let's be mad about it, of like let's uh not celebrated, but sing about it, keep it in everyone's attention. Like, not that it just, it's once a year that these things are kind of talked about, of media, of if that's books, visual, movie wise, or like in song and music, of this stuff should be talked about and regularly, not forgotten.
No, of course, yeah. And musically, that song has a lot of like thrash metal to it, and the vocals as well. So I have the artwork. This is the artwork for the single alone, right? Not for the
Yep.
upcoming album that you will put out sometime in 2024, correct?
Yes. Yeah. So, if I can go off on a bit of a tangent again,
Sure.
this is the artwork for the single. This was going to be the artwork for the album initially. Sort of kind of not last minute, but a few weeks prior, we had decided on something else. But we had met a artist, his name is Darren Cosgrove, at something referred to as the Krampus market. I don't know if you're familiar
Okay.
with what Krampus is. He's like the bad version of Santa that
Oh yeah.
that goes and puts like bad children in a sack and beats them with sticks or something like that. So
He's
at
a
this,
bad Santa.
he's the bad Santa. So at this Krampus market 2-3 years ago, Darren have like had all these prints, sort of similar in the style of like this woodblock stuff, and a lot of other things of Krampus from, I think it was the 17th, 18th century Germany, but just a lot of cool stuff visually. It was just printed really well. We just got into this huge talk with him of like, not knowing, like, he has put together a huge amount of CD and like album covers for bands all around Toronto or Canada. Of like, or I shouldn't limit it to that, of probably all around, of where he works as a professional designer of, and kind of does this as a like side project of for the love of the game, to use the term. So this one, where he helped redesign our logo, putting all those kind of very German spikes-esque on it.
Yeah, it looks cool.
And then the background of it, where we made the two-tone thing of where it is sort of this descent into hell, that you're getting into that seventh circle of hell sort of thing. Which thematically, like the first 4 songs on the album, it does start off very, probably closer to our previous songs you had listened to, where you said there was this different vibe to them, and then like from the one side of it to the other, we'll get into the harder, more thrash metal end of things. So thematically, because we do intend on putting this out on vinyl, it will be that kind of, side 1, side 2, descent, flip into it. But yeah, this is, I believe this is some woodcut. I don't know the year of it, but public domain. So
Okay. So
yeah.
This is pretty cool artwork for a single. So I'm curious, like what the album artwork will look like, because that's a cool single artwork. So what can you tell us about the upcoming album, like sound wise and theme wise?
Okay. So sound wise, it is the biggest, baddest, loudest version of the band to date. I think it's the recorded in the best possible way under the best possible circumstances. Like, we spent a long time doing this. If I'm going to speak on the drum end, so Fernando Villalobos, like I said, our new
new
man,
drummer, yeah.
our new man for this recording. He was previously in a band called Sledgehammer, which also very heavy stuff. In that band, Tyler Williams played guitar. Tyler Williams has done a bunch of albums for like Lindsay Schoolcraft, Astaroth Incarnate, Lutharo. So he's been working of like producing, like recording albums. And they used to be in a band. Their last recording they did together. So like when we went to do that part of it, the drum section of it, they were just in sync of like that. And that's a huge marquee of the huge appeal of a lot of the album is the clarity of like the badassness of like what's going on with those drums, and like they nailed it. It was incredible. On Jack's end, guitar wise, of like the layering of it, the tone of like he's really settled into, you know, stuff that very much matches the intensity that we're doing. You know, and he had a great few days of like to experiment of with some of these solos and things of where that ended up great. Of, you know, I had my time to bass wise of experiment a bit more than like previous releases. I think that really like came through on certain tracks. We kind of got stopped for a while though. Like we got this chunk of things done, and then just where people were of necessary things for recording. We were also our second producer, JC Sandoval. We recorded a lot of stuff at his house. We did pre-recording there. I did my bass there. We initially did the first rounds of vocals there, but it wasn't quite done. So like we ended up putting up shop of like at Jack's place, the room next to his. And it was sort of like just scheduling wise, we could all like do this, you know, a few hours once a week. So we were able to do those rounds. But then like once everything was all together for mixing and mastering everything of, you know, we had a great team all around with that ear for, you know, what needed to be done, what needed to be pumped up. But it was a lot of work pre-production. It was a lot of work and a long time, the actual recording process. And I think the end result that is going to come out is, I mean, the proudest I've been of, you know, any project of like for the band or musically, or, you know, I don't know, all in general that I've ever done.
No,
I'm just waiting. I'm waiting. We went in knowing of like this one is going to be on vinyl, and the artwork of it, of the quality that that's going to be. Like when I say I want to make a real piece of art of like I'm just waiting to hold this thing in my hands of, you know, 4+ years of work effort of you know, worldwide pandemic of everything in between. So if that gives you, yeah, a view or a timeline on it of, as I said, the biggest, baddest, loudest version of us yet.
so do you already know when you're going to release this in 2024, or is this still the date still being worked on?
We don't know the exact date. I mean, this is kind of, you know, for me, I've been antsy for months, right? Of like,
Yeah.
it's the summer, I think, of when the final mix version was. I don't know when the final master one was out, but like, all right, yeah, it's all there. But like, and you want to throw everything out right away because you've been working on it so long. But doing previous releases, well, you would throw it a CD, you would do a music video for 1 or 2 songs, and then the rest of the album didn't get its due or like its time. Of, I think we live in a different attention landscape of where people pick something up, or if they're going to see you of like, there's no reason not to like give, you know, a deep breath or two of a few months before leading up to, hey, here's the full album out. So as I said, of like On Earth or in Hell is sort of where we're out on the progress with it right now. The video will be coming out for that November sometime. I'm not sure the exact day, but you know, keep us posted on, or keep posted on our, you know, Facebook, Instagram, all that. Updates will be there. From that point of, you know, we got another 2 songs and videos up ready to go, leading up to that 2024 release. Yeah, finding the right time, definitely early 2024. I don't want to put an exact date on it.
Yeah, but you don't want to, like, if you don't like put an album before Thanksgiving, it's not good. So it's good to wait to the new year.
Well, it's kind of the thing, right? Of
yeah,
I think our initial plan was everything out. Our plan a year ago was everything out around this time, Halloween time. Obviously plans change and things. How long it'll take for the vinyls to be printed, of, you know, the shirts to be designed to, you know, all that stuff of like all these running pieces, but you know, you gotta take a few rounds of for people to see if like they're up of like doing things or new stuff out, like rather than just have blah, you haven't heard from us in 6 years with a release. Here's something new. Yeah, rolling it this way. So I don't know. I'm enjoying it so far.
Cool.
So yeah, an exact date of early 2024. How early? Not sure yet, but stay posted.
So you said that you started playing the bass like almost in your 20s, right?
Yeah, I was probably 24, maybe 23,
Wow. So
24.
yeah, late
I'd played
bloomer to the. So
yeah, very,
uh,
very late.
what inspired you when you were 24? Like I'm finally gonna pick up the bass. Like who were
Mhm.
your favorite bass players at the time?
Um, at the time, I mean, still of Blackie Lawless from Wasp, even not particularly for the bass playing, but the showmanship, the you know, the performance end of it.
Oh,
Um,
you do love hair metal.
oh yeah, that's if you can tell, that's sort of a lot of my my initial interest in it. Of it still is a lot of interest in it. But yeah, other than that, of like, I got the usual of you know, Mount Rushmore of everyone else's, Geezer Butler, Steve Harris, you know, all of that. But starting back then, you know, just doing things very basically, like it was really, yeah, love of the game of like why pick up something that late of I don't know, at that point in my life I was done university of didn't really see huge prospects of what I had just done, everything the proper way of working out of uh I was bartending at the time of like living down like Queen West area, and it was like, you know, why not do it?
No, it's
here, here,
better late
13
than never.
here I am 13 years later though, of like, which I'm really amazed about, right? Of you know, or have some people that in and around that time where we started are also still going, and then other people have you know, it comes and it goes, but you know, I don't regret doing it. Of like, it's been some of the best times of
No, you shouldn't.
best life experiences, right? Of
Yeah,
mhm.
yeah. So with your love of hair metal, like let me ask you, like, what are your top three favorite hair metal like albums of all time?
uh let's see, Appetite for Destruction. I mean, that's uh
Yeah, you could consider. Yeah, I consider like Guns N' Roses like they're like hard rock. They're like
they,
they yeah they're like in a different, but that's a great fucking album.
it is
Uh,
definitely on the border of it. I mean, I guess where you
yeah.
consider uh no, but that is the like Sweet Child of Mine. That is
Oh
the
yeah,
is hair metal ballad through and through. It's done way, way better than a lot of them.
it is. Yeah.
That- that's one of the few albums that like top to bottom you can put on of like, and there's not one song where you're kind of like, I need to change this, or like, whatever.
No, no. Every song is good. Even it's a banger from beginning to end.
Mhm. Um, even with that, like we've played, I think of their tracks we've played normally for covers or just like a fun thing at the end of a show. Either Night Train or It's So Easy of like, and they're you learn a lot learning those songs too. Just the way of like build up things of crowd interaction of stuff like that. And they built and they learned a lot from Aerosmith of
Yeah,
from that.
you should do Rocket Queen. That's a
Uh,
great one.
I love the last like 2 minutes of that song. I love the
If
front.
you
I love
think,
the front
yeah,
bit of the. I
if you
actually
think about that song has like it's like two different songs in one, because at the first, he's like he's saying that he's going to, well, the song is he's going to have sex with this prostitute,
mm,
and then he's like, oh, I'm not naive, and then the second part of the song is like he wants to take care of her, like he falls in love with her. So it's like two different songs on one. I think it's a very underrated Guns N' Roses song.
mhm. I would agree. Of So yeah, I actually got to see them for the first time in Montreal earlier this summer, which was great. Finally. So yeah, that'd be number one. Number two, we talked about it earlier, Pantera, power metal. Where that
I
is,
gotta check out that record now.
here's the thing, like they're following the like hair metal song format, but they're following it. It's still Dimebag Darrell doing guitar solos, right? It's still Phil Anselmo vocally of is just piecing in like, what if you had these incredible players that have this distinct style and character to them following this song format. So for that, and then for the third one, I don't know if it counts because it might not. I think it does, but it might not. I'll do it anyway. Wasp put out an album in 1997, 1998 called Kill Fuck Die. I don't know if you remember of like hard rock, metal, like a lot of things around that time, like grunge was sort of, less.
At 1997, that was full on new metal time.
No, and kind of, sort of, but there was this like very brief period where it wasn't quite new metal yet. It was more like everyone was trying their hand at like mixing their stuff with industrial music.
Motley Crue did it.
Motley Crue did it
with Generation Swine, which sucked.
A lot of hits and a lot of misses. Anyway, of Wasp did their take of, I guess, mixing what they did hair metal wise with like that industrial music kind of sound. I don't love all the songs on the album, but the ones that hit really hit. So I don't know if that fully counts, but yeah, I don't.
Well, it counts. It's your list, man.
It's what I listen to the most. Right?
It's what you listen to. So who are those wrestlers that are in the back? I'm like,
okay, so, shout out to my buddy Tom Colleran that painted this for me. He used to live above where Jack's still at our old place at Augusta, Queen Street. So that is the Total Package Lex Luger.
Oh, I remember him.
And that is the master of the Perfect Plex, Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig.
Oh my God, that takes me back to, that's like early 90s wrestling.
Although for me being like a dweeb because my buddy that painted it, I don't know why he put the two of them together, because like they were never a tag team. They were never anything that, like, I saw this hanging in his house all the time. I was like, why'd you put Lex Luger and Mr. Perfect together? Of like, they weren't a team or anything. He just had the images of them. He's like, this is a cool thing to draw, whatever, or to paint. So I don't know. Eventually he needed to clear out his space. So he's like, you always talk about this thing. Do you want it? I'm like, yeah.
Well, it's a conversation starter. like because I'm looking, I'm like, I wonder, I was trying to recognize who they are. So,
and depending on the relationship ender, we're not putting on the wall of like, yes, we are.
I bet. So obviously you have the new singles already out, but like, so in November you'll have a new music video. Are you releasing before like another single before the album is out?
Yeah, so another single for sure. There might be two before that point, or maybe the third one would be in conjunction with the album coming out, but
the album, yeah,
a second one for sure. I guess that would be if the music videos come out in November, of like another single like December period. But like I say, the exact timing of these things, I wish I had a gigantic calendar where everything's set in stone with this.
Oh, of course.
By God, we've tried making one plenty of times, but
I bet
things change, right? Day by day. So like I say, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook, of all whatever platforms. Of there is going to be a consistent stream of new content coming out related to the album, of like new music, clips, shows, all that fun stuff I don't know,
I'll
whatever
put the
VPN
link so
follow.
people can go ahead and follow the band and so they can know when the new video is out. But the song is out now. You know, they can stream it wherever streaming is available. The new song is on Earth and on
Mhm,
Hell, so it's out now,
mhm.
or on Earth or in Hell.
On Earth
S-
or oh, check it out. Spotify, add the follows on there. Yeah, check it out of I think YouTube as well. Bandcamp. If you want to buy the song from Bandcamp, funds of that will go to the Indian Residential School Survivors Fund for a good while. I believe that that part of initially where we put up for the Bandcamp sales is still there. So yeah.
I'll put the link for the Bandcamp so people
Mhm.
can buy and help that cause. So, Cal, you know, it's been great chatting with you about Black Absinthe, about the evolution of the band, and for
Mhm.
people that don't know the band, so they can get an idea what the band sounds like.
Mhm.
And obviously, this new single is more thrash metal elements with your new wave of British heavy metal, and the album will be out sometime in 2024. So,
Mhm.
anything that you would like to say to the people before we go?
People of if you sat with this dude chill on the couch, that dude chill on the couch of I hope you enjoyed the chat and for you on the end I gotta say of check out Power Metal by Pantera. It rules.
Oh, you, yeah, you obviously love that album. I'm gonna check it out
I'm
because
hyping up
I've
this album.
never.
I'm hyping up the album more than ours. So
Oh my, I've never listened to that Pantera album, so I will need to check it out and so I can listen to it. So until next time, people, this is Hector, the Shield Dude on a couch, and I'll see you all right here on the couch. Thank you and good night.